What's going on, everyone? How are you doing? So today, feel free to be pissed off. We've covered this story before, but now obviously there's some new growth to my channel. Most of the videos are going viral. So now's the perfect time to redress our grievances and figure this out. You guys, if you haven't heard about this story, you're going to be absolutely disgusted. You should be absolutely disgusted. This is one of those stories that's going to blow your mind, where you're going to say to yourself, can this even happen in modern day society? Is this something that can happen to me? And I don't even believe that this could happen. Well, believe it. Just so you guys are aware, on January 30th, 2018, at around 9 p.m., the Delaware County Sheriff's Department responded to an alleged domestic violence issue. Okay. Everyone that's in here now, please smash that thumbs up button. Really appreciate it. And there's a hashtag I'd like you guys to be using in the chat. That's hashtag Team Shane. 140 people in here as of now. We expect close to 500. So I'm going to play a video without further ado. Now, we all understand that cops lie, cameras don't. And this is one of those incidences where a police officer lies, attempts to murder a free citizen, and the citizen winds up in prison for 36 years. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this little video that we made for y'all to get you up to date to where we're at. We're going to pause it. Then we're going to play the whole body cam. The way this guy lies is terrible. Up here today joining us is Ruthie. That's Shane's fiance. They're having a child together, and his mom, Erica, who I've been in contact with for about, I don't know, about 2 months now, Erica?
About 2 months, yeah.
And there's been ups and downs to this case, but I figured I'll just show you the body cam footage and let you guys decide, and then your minds are going to get blown. And then we're going to play a nice game that we like to play here called How Low Can You Go? 200 people in chat right now. Smash that like button. This is Delaware County Sheriff's Office. We're going to play this video so y'all can watch. It's about, the first part's about 5 minutes, so we'll watch this video together. This is Shane SCHUMATE. Approximately 3 hours after an alleged domestic disturbance, police officers were dispatched to his home with a knock and announce warrant. However, when they arrived, they did not knock or announce. In fact, under the cover of night, they hid in bushes directly lining his home. Shane, suspecting prowlers, as there was no insignia or logo on these officers hiding under the cover of night, grabbed his firearm that he was legally able to have and carry. He was not holding the firearm. He simply put it in his pocket. He exited the door to investigate. As soon as his foot crossed the threshold, he was shot at 6 times, getting hit 3 times. He died 3 times on the way to the hospital. However, this is not the most egregious part of this story, and this video breaks down the body cam footage and the lies that Deputy Derek Marvin told to get exactly what he wanted: an innocent man who was attacked by police, thrown in prison to fight for his life for 36 years. Directly after the shooting, Deputy Marvin stated in an interview that he saw no firearm in Mr. SCHUMATE's hand. In fact, his hand was only 45 degrees parallel to the ground, and he wasn't going to take the chance that he had a gun, so he fired at him. However, 9 months later, his story changed, and Shane was charged. This video breaks down the body cam footage that show no knock, no announcement was made, that Shane was not armed, holding a firearm in his hand, and that these officers fired at him openly and then lied about it. Keep in mind, it's bad when cops turn on each other. One of the clips from body cam will show another officer openly saying that he wanted no part, because when the court struck down on this injustice and this lie and this man was set free, he wanted no part. Team Shane, watch and enjoy. It's terrible. Keep in mind that viewer discretion is advised.
White male walk out, and I saw the weapon in his hand,
That's when I started yelling at him, show me your fucking hands, show me your fucking hands, show me, drop your fucking gun, drop the fucking gun. And I saw his right hand start moving up, and I fired 4 or 5 rounds at him.
With your long gun?
Yes.
And did you ever fire your handgun? Do you ever remember seeing or hearing? So you don't remember any officer firing? You remember him firing?
No.
Okay.
The moment I saw him raising his right arm, it wasn't even parallel to the ground. I wasn't taking the chance of the other officers that were behind cover, getting shot at.
Okay.
My, how it seems that this officer can't get his story straight. On his official report, he alleges that Shane SCHUMATE walks out of the home and fires at them after ignoring several commands to drop the gun. But in the interview footage you just saw, the officer agrees that no one fired. Not the other officers, not Shane SCHUMATE. The only person that fired that day was Deputy Derek Marvin. However, in his official report, 9 months later, he states that 5 officers surrounded the home, including an officer who knocked on the front door. SCHUMATE emerged armed from the rear of the residence. He ignored commands to drop his gun and fired his gun directly at Delaware County Sheriff's Deputy Derek Marvin. But as you can see, that didn't happen. And now this young man is sitting in prison for 36 years because he was assaulted by the police. Watch this full video. And please be disgusted. We, the people, deserve more. We demand more. Team Shane.
I'm not getting involved anymore than I have to.
That's fine. Stay right there.
I am.
Okay.
I don't want to be tied up in a legal court system.
Don't be a...
All right, folks, we are going to play the full body cam, but what I did is break things down. This officer in his official report, he just can't find his way out of a lie. Every word that comes out of his mouth is an absolute lie. This is Deputy Derek Marvin of the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. And this scumbag states in his official report, as you've just seen, 5 officers surrounded the home, including an officer who knocked at the door. Remember these facts. SCHUMATE emerged armed from the rear of the residence. He ignored commands to drop his gun and fired his gun directly at Delaware County Sheriff's Deputy Derek Marvin. So we should see several things happen here. We should see officers surround the home, which we do under the cover of night. They hide like the filthy cowards that they are. We should hear and see them knock and announce themselves. That's not going to happen. We're going to see Shane emerge, right? But he's going to be armed. And he's going to be told 3 separate times that he needs to drop his gun. And then on top of that, he is then going to fire at deputies. What I find incredible is that none of that happens. I mean, the first time that this report is actually read is 9 months later when Shane is actually charged. What's disgusting is immediately after the shooting happens, immediately after, the cop says no one fired. Not another officer, not Shane SCHUMATE. The only person that fired that day was him. In fact, he didn't even see a weapon. He saw Shane's arm at a 45-degree angle. He couldn't see his hand or what was in it. He just didn't want to take the chance that one of his cops could get hurt. We're talking about an unstable, mentally, this guy is twisted, right? Before this call, he was in a suicide call for several hours earlier. He's relatively new to the department, and in his brand new law enforcement career, he's dealing with a suicide call, and he's dealing with, from reports and sources that we have, a very lengthy and 4-year tumultuous custody battle. Okay, the shiny badge not only granted extra rights, it granted these police the ability to lie and steal these people's family members. Look at the t-shirts they're wearing. We the people deserve much better, but we the people will never get better because we allow these oath-breaking tyrants to rummage around the city and kidnap citizens from your home. We usually play a game, folks, called How Low Can You Go? When we redress our grievances and we go to public sites and we let these tyrants know exactly how they're doing. Unfortunately, and I did do some research, we did a video on Shane before. We did a small live stream. And then the review page was up because before this video, I went back and looked, and you were able to leave a review at the Delaware County Sheriff's Office in Muncie, Indiana. But now, after that live stream, they took the review page down. When you go to the police department, they took the review page down. When you go to the Justice Center, they took the review page down. Because they realized when we go out and try and kill unarmed citizens and then lie about it, and you, the people, want to redress your grievances, well, we don't want to hear it. We could give a shit less. So right now, the only page that is available before we continue to watch the full body cam footage is the Delaware County Clerk of Courts. They have a 3.3. You'll see it on your screen. I'll blow it up. Everyone at home can see it. This is the Delaware County Clerk of Courts in Muncie, Indiana. Oh, excuse me. This one's not even in Muncie. This one's in Delaware. Hold on a second. Let's just put Delaware County, Indiana, because I want to show you guys. Let's do the sheriff. So you can see here, you can't redress your grievances. Look what they did, folks. They took it down. They made it so you can't leave a review. And everywhere you go, there's no place to leave a review. Let's try the Delaware County Coroner. See if you can leave a review there. You can't leave a review there. Let's go to the Delaware County Juvenile. Here you can leave a review. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Oh, wait, hold on. Delaware County Clerk. Here we go. The Delaware County Clerk. We can leave a review here. I'm going to leave my review. Write a review. I'm going to write, cops are bad, save your family. I'm going to post it. Let me go to the actual page here. This is the Delaware County Clerk. So I'm going to type that into Google. Delaware County Clerk. Hold on. And then we're going to watch the full body cam for everyone that's in here. Delaware County, not the one in Ohio. Delaware County Clerk, Indiana. Reviews. Here we go, guys. It's a 2.3 right now. This is the Clerk of Courts in Delaware County, Indiana. You can simply go, click on reviews, and you can leave your reviews to let them know exactly how you think they're doing in the handling of Shane's case. I just left my review. You folks at home, you can do it as well. 250 people in the chat. I would ask if everyone could smash that like button. Secondly, there is a way to support these fine people. I have teamed up with Erica, who is Shane's mom, to put my merchandise through them. So just so everyone knows, you can go to the About section on my site, on my YouTube page, and you can go to Get AFA Gear. And here it is. You have two lines. You have Team Shane t-shirts available, and you actually have the brand new Accountability for All t-shirts. We'll be adding more stuff soon. If you'd like to support, you can do it that way. And the funds will go directly to freeing Shane. So before we start this video, I appreciate everyone being here today in chat, the mods, the members, thank you all. Erica, how do you feel right now? What's new? I know Shane is approaching appeals. You're on mute. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, he's in the appeal process now. We're waiting on transcripts. I've heard that the court recorder could ask for an extension, and from there, we're just waiting on transcripts.
Okay, so I know it's hard to rewatch this video, and Ruthie, you're how far along are you in your pregnancy right now?
28 weeks.
28 weeks. And of that 28 weeks, how often were you able to have your loved one, your partner, be there for you to get whatever weird taste cravings you had? Ice cream, pickles at 2 a.m. How many times when you needed a shoulder to cry on could you turn to Shane and hug him of those 28 weeks?
I'd say maybe 15 of them.
Yeah, maybe 15 of them.
And right now it's looking like he's not going to be out to see his child born.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So without further ado, everyone, I'm going to play the full body cam video. And I want you to watch every single part of it because we're going to go back later. It's very easy to let this cop lie for himself.
Right.
Here we go. We'll play the full body cam for you. And just to be clear, people, they're responding 3 hours later to a domestic disturbance. Why everyone needs an AR-15 beats me. They don't even need lethal. This guy is no threat. He has no criminal record.
Kick in the door or go. We haven't made it. Let those guys get set first. Yep.
So there's the one knock, guys. But listen to what this cop says. They brag about how the cover of night's perfect, how they can kick in the door and shoot him.
The door. Walking away. He's at the window. Walk away. He's getting a coat on. He's walking this way. Kick in the fucking door. I got window. I got the window. You go. Shoot it! Shoot it!
Hold on a sec, everyone. I'm confused. My brain isn't working. That doesn't make any sense to me. And cops don't lie, but he said that the 5 officers surround the home. Check. Including an officer who knocked on the door. He did knock on the door. They didn't say anything. It was a knock and announce warrant. They didn't knock and announce. Shane emerged, armed from the rear. He had a gun in his pocket. They admitted they couldn't see anything. He says he ignored commands to drop his gun and fired his gun directly at Delaware County Sheriff's Deputy Derek Marvin. I completely missed that part. I saw Shane walk out the door and get shot 3 times, but I must be making mistakes because we know that cops are heroes. So let's go back about 10 seconds, and I'm going to slow this down frame by frame so there's no question. All right, I'm going to slow this down, playback speed, so we can hear everything. We'll play it to 0.5. Keep in mind, guys, what we should hear is him telling Shane coming out of the house. So when Shane comes out of the house, we're going to see Shane aim a gun at this deputy. The deputy is going to say, drop the gun 3 different times, and then Shane is going to fire at them. So that's what we're going to see right now from the body cam, according to this lying scumbag. Let's take a look.
You shot me! Hands up! Get on your stomach! Oh, you shot me!
Walk away.
976, start EMS for one.
Guys, I want you to get eaten up inside over this shit. Okay? I want you to get fucking pissed off because this that you see on screen, 9 months later. 9 months later, he comes to this conclusion, right? But it's pretty interesting because when you go to his interview, this is what he says happened. So let's take a look at his interview again. So we don't need to prove that this cop, Deputy Derek Marvin of the Delaware County Sheriff's Department, is a liar. We don't need to prove that. He says it himself. I mean, look at it, it's a fact. He didn't come out. He didn't say, oh, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun, and then he fired at him. He didn't fire at the cop. In fact, he says drop the gun after he fires 6 shots, striking Shane 3 times, severing his femoral artery, causing him to die on the way to the hospital approximately 3 times. This isn't the worst part of this. 330 people in here. Everyone, please smash that like button. Type in the chat, Team Shane. Erica, what do you think so far?
I think they actually Marvin shot at him 8 times and hit him twice. But I think that it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, there's no way that our justice system should be operating in this manner or this capacity whatsoever.
I absolutely agree. And I can sit here till the cows come home and tell you how much of a scumbag this guy is.
Absolute scumbag.
But let's see what he says the night after for everyone that's just joining us now. So we saw the report from 9 months later where he says that Shane exits the house. He aims a gun at deputies. He's told 3 separate times to drop the firearm. Instead of dropping the firearm, he levels his weapon at deputies and fires a shot. This is what Derek Marvin, the deputy who shot him, is saying 9 months later. Let's look and see what Derek Marvin said hours after the incident.
White male walk out, and I saw the weapon in his hand. That's when I started yelling at him, showing me.
Okay, so pay attention to this part. This is the same interview, people. He just says right now that he comes out and he sees the weapon in his hands and he says, drop the gun, and he fires at him. This is after being coached by police for hours.
He actually gave this statement 20 days later.
Let's see what he says and how the story changes now.
Right.
Your fucking hands, show me your fucking hands. Show me, drop the fucking gun, and I saw his right hand start moving up, and I fired 4 or 5 rounds at him.
With your long gun?
Yes.
Did you ever fire your handgun? Do you ever remember seeing or hearing? So you don't remember any officer firing? You don't remember him firing?
No.
Okay.
The moment I saw him raising his right arm, it wasn't even parallel to the ground. I wasn't taking the chance of the other officers that were behind cover, getting shot at. Okay.
My, how it seems that this officer can't get his story straight. On his official report, we demand. Now, people, we know that cops are bad, but it's a bad day when another cop doesn't want to be involved. The cop whose body cam this is actually not the shooter. That was a mistake made in editing, but this happens directly after the shooting. And watch, it's very interesting. Another police officer comes up and says, I'm done. I'm not being involved in this. When the court's getting, I don't want to be involved in this crazy shit when it gets to court. And he tells him, then don't be a cop. He says to this other cop that's trying to do the right thing and says, listen, I won't have any part of this. He tells him, hey, listen, if you don't want to shoot unarmed people, lie about it, and then get them thrown in prison for 36 years because of a dirty cop, then don't be a cop. That's what we do. We're gang members. You have to be ready to be dirty. Get down deep in it. Let's watch this part. And more. Team Shane.
I'm not getting involved anymore than I have to.
That's fine, stay right there.
I am.
Okay.
I don't want to be tied up in a legal court system.
Don't be a
So there go the lies right there. It's very easy to figure this out. This isn't rocket science. This isn't rocket science, people. Shane exits the house and he simply just gets shot. I mean, the cop even agrees that that's what happened. He says no one else fired. But this kid winds up going to prison in a fixed trial for 36 years for attempted murder of a police officer.
Intentional.
And what convicted him, I wonder? What is it that convicted him? Because when you look at the video, it's very clear that he walked. You have people that have no police insignia or logos on them. They have a knock and announce warrant. They did not announce. So you're a free person without a criminal record, and you see prowlers hiding under the cover of night that are armed. And he puts his firearm in his pocket, and he walks out the door. And without respecting his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as soon as his foot crosses the threshold, he's shot at. Which is bad enough. What is really egregious is the fact that to cover his own ass, the cop lied about it, despite body cam. And 9 months later, he's charged with intentional attempted murder of a police officer. And he's sitting in prison for 36 years. While this man walks free, while this man is able to enjoy his life, while this man is able to enjoy his children, while this woman has to raise her own without the support of the man that she loves. And this is the least part of the cover-up, people. When you look at the crime scene techs, and then we're going to play the whole body cam. The crime scene techs come to the scene. Now, when Shane hits the ground after he's after the Derek Marvin, the shit bucket, attempts to murder him for no reason besides the fact that he's a mental case lunatic, he hits the ground and the revolver is forced from his pocket because of the force of the ground. Crime scene technicians come to the scene. They examine the firearm. It's a 6-shot revolver. They find 6 live rounds, meaning the gun wasn't fired.
Right.
Somehow he shot at him. He shot at the cop. No GSR gunshot residue testing was done to see if Shane had any gunshot residue on him, which almost always happens. But why would they do gunshot residue when that would paint them as the perpetrator? The gun was not tested to see if it was fired recently. Okay, and this is a state that's constitutional carry, where you have the right to have and carry a firearm. This is not, a person that's out causing trouble. This is a free American that respects his family, that respects his right to observe his constitutional liberties. And this is what happened to him. But circle back. Now this is conducted by crime scene techs. 6 live rounds inside the chamber of that 6-shot revolver. However, weeks later, when it's logged into evidence, it only has 5 live rounds. All of a sudden, 1 round has been spent. Well,
one envelope turned into 2 envelopes.
Right, and then what did they do a week later? They finally went to go look for that missing round. And did they find it?
They did.
they found a missing round. Now, when they did ballistics tests, they confirmed that that firearm did come from Shane's weapon. However, that they could have got that casing from any point in time if Shane's out shooting squirrels in his backyard. This is the injustice that's done by this police department. And then, of course, he goes to court, and we all know how that turned out. So now I'm going to play the full body cam. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. We have about 330 people in chat. I'm going to play the body cam. Thank you to the members. Like I said, if you'd like to support them, you can go to the mods have it in the chat. Machine Head they have Team Shane gear. And here's what I'm going to do. Whether it's Team Shane merchandise or AFA merchandise, after the first 100 orders, between the two, the first 100 orders, we will randomly choose a name, and that person will get a $250 gift card, and Visa gift card, and I will send that out. I want everyone to know who Shane is. This is unacceptable, and this could happen in your neck of the woods. We are shutting this shit the fuck down every single time. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and play the full body cam now. And this armed response, so everyone knows, is for an alleged domestic dispute 3 hours after the report was given.
Your call. Kick in the door or go? We haven't made it. Let those guys get set first.
Listen to what he says. We haven't made cover of darkness to assault this man at his home. We haven't made.
Yep. Coming to the door. Walking away. He's at the window. Just walked away. He's getting a coat on. Hold on. He's walking this way. Kick in the fucking door. I got window. I got the window. You go. Shoot it! Shoot it! Let me see your hand! Let me see your hand! Let me see your hand! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
No, you shot me!
Hands up! Get on your stomach!
Oh, you shot me!
Walk away.
976, start EMS for 1.
God damn it!
543, contact 941.
No! I walked away!
Okay.
God!
943, be advised, he's got a gun. We got the gun moved.
God! We're good! You can go back inside, sir!
check him. Check him so I can somebody get a Tony tag.
Mastery time's up there by the school.
God damn it!
972 shot in the leg.
Adam! There, you got enough. Come over here with me now. God! Yeah!
97.
Me.
30, 81. Their investigator.
Take it. Here!
I think they're requesting county investigator looking for 38.
Here! Here! I gotta get away now. God! Here! Just take these. Here. Just throw those on. What the? I don't even think that's a real one.
Let me have your sidearm, Brett. Don't hang on. Shane.
643, get EMS going quick.
People, look at the mental breakdown that this cop has. He even says, "I don't even think that's a real one," because he doesn't actually see the firearm and for the first time until it falls out of his pocket. Now, this cop says, "Oh, I don't even think it's a real one." But now you're going to see them work to get their stories straight. Yes, people, this cop is still working. He's in active duty. There was no internal affairs investigation even levied against him. And on top of that, they work to get their stories straight. You're going to see that in just a minute.
I'm still recording.
You still recording?
Yeah.
We both are.
Adam, you continue.
I seen him come out with a gun.
I know. Hey, we're not here to get stories straight.
No.
Hey, I'm good. Hey, Adam's taking me to my car now. I'm getting away from you guys.
Yeah, he's not here to get his stories straight. They'll get their stories straight, several months later when they lie. The video you just saw, Shane steps out of his house with no firearms in his hand to investigate prowlers, and he's immediately shot at about 8 times approximately. He's hit. He almost dies. But look what they say 9 months later when they want to get their story straight. He emerged armed from the rear of the residence. He ignored commands to drop his gun. This never happened. They told him to drop the gun after they shot him. They said that he fired at them. We showed you the video. He was never fired upon, this deputy. So let's continue to watch. I find this absolutely disgusting. And this guy's still on the street.
Stay at the back of that pickup truck with firearms.
My firearms. No, you got to take custody of those.
Never mind.
Take custody of mine. Brian, come with me. Come with me. $20.38. You on here? Okay. Hey, I'm still recording on my body cam. Do you want me to turn it off? I walked away. There's 3 officers on him right now. Adam's got my guns, or my rifle, and my sidearm right now. All right, I'm good.
Adam, where's that price?
Right here.
I put as many fire names on there as I could think of right then. Weenie Brownie. Corporal. There's a firearm right here. What? Chase Knepper.
All right. No one else is in here.
Nope.
Is the house empty?
I have not. Nobody's been in the house yet. I do not believe. Chase. I don't know, Brian.
No one's in the house.
I've not been in the house. I was the last one around the house. There was not supposed to be anybody here per the wife. Chase, come out here. Chase, come out here. Hey, just leave it.
I'm not getting involved anymore than I have to.
That's fine. Stay right there.
I am.
Okay.
I don't want to be tired of the legal court system over this shit.
Don't be a
Anybody start taking pictures? Or are you waiting on the investigator?
investigations. You can take some if you want.
Hey, Adam,
What?
you gotta remember, I'm a one-man show over there.
I know.
I don't have the man to investigate.
So that is it, people. And yes, just so you know, Shane SCHUMATE, after being shot by police for walking out of his door, is now sitting in a prison cell for the next 36 years. Post-conviction relief is being sought, and we're hoping that in the best interest of justice, charges against him will be dropped. But there's only one way that can happen, and that's if people at home get involved.
Absolutely.
We have instances where the waters are murky and the skies are cloudy, and we can't quite define if something was done wrong. But in this case, it is absolutely easy to see that something was done wrong. Okay? The fact that this cop lied and these two young ladies are sitting at home wondering why she can't hold her son, wondering why she has to worry about who's going to help her raise her child. And this man that only wants to be a part of his family, that wants a better life for his child than he sees available in the world today, he's sitting in a prison cell while this cop walks free, enjoying his family, enjoying his friends, enjoying the donations from the Fraternal Order of Police, and enjoying life. My question is, what are you people at home going to do about it? Why are these two women standing on here alone? Why is it taking so long for anyone, to reach out, touch them, and tell them that they care? Why is it only now that this type of reaction is happening? Why is it that not 1,000 people are showing up to Free Shane SCHUMATE protests? Why are people in chat it's great. I appreciate you guys giving positive reinforcement. But what you could do is demanding accountability from your government. It is never okay for our family, our friends, or our loved ones to be shot and murdered in cold blood. It is less okay for an officer to lie about it. But what is more of a travesty is that the body cam shows exactly what happened. And a jury of his peers, blue line backing barebackers, bootlickers to the core, sent him away. And now I look at Ruthie, she's pregnant. And I remember when I was having my two children, and I remember how inclusive it was. You know, I would be getting up at 3 a.m. to get Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and then going back out at 5 a.m. to get pickles. You know what I mean? The weird pregnancy cravings. She has none of that. However, that's not entirely true, because Shane's mom is sitting right next to her. We the people started with two people. It needs to be way more. When I got into activism, it was because a fire burned in my belly. I felt that there was an injustice that needed to be addressed, and I started filming police. And then I realized that it was way beyond the scope of what is attainable, because the problem is way worse than police. The problem lies with us, because we gave our rights away. And now when you have dirty, oath-breaking, murderous thugs in clown costumes, hiding under the cover of night and shooting and killing your family, they walk free. While these poor women wonder when they get to hold their loved one again. The next time that they might see him, not over a video visit chat. And I wonder what you people at home are going to do. I wonder how long you're going to watch this live stream and look at the face of these two women and wonder why nothing was done. Wonder why he's still sitting in prison right now.
If we don't fight like hell, that's where he stays.
So I have a question for you. Your faith in humanity, once this happened, I mean, what did it feel like?
Oh, I lost complete faith in humanity. I started shutting myself in my house. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't answer my phone. I can't answer my door. I developed diabetes from stress just last year. Like it's been hell.
So do you often wonder if the police plan to do anything about this?
I wonder all the time, but they don't plan to do anything. They just hope that something happens to where he can stay there for 36 years and they're in the clear.
Well, I wonder if they plan to do anything about this. So if y'all don't mind, I think I'm going to call and ask them what they plan to do about this. Because I want answers. Okay? I demand to know what happened. I demand to know why they don't give a shit. And I demand to know who's next. When this guy comes off a bad shift after a 4-year custody battle and he can't keep his mental wits about him, who's going to be the next person? Who's the next Ruthie Foster? Who's the next Erica Combs that's going to come on my channel or the DPNs of the world, or the Delete Laws of the world, and tell their story next? We have the ability to make sure that the Shane Shoemate of yesterday is not your relative tomorrow. So I'm going to call. I want to know. And they owe that to us. They owe that to them. So I'm going to call them right now and ask.
Calling the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If this is a non-emergency situation and you need to see or speak with a deputy, please call Delaware County Dispatch at 747-7878. Office hours are Monday to Friday.
All right, we'll call that one. Hi, this is the Delaware County Sheriff's Department.
This is dispatch.
Oh, hello. Good afternoon. What's your name?
Turner.
Turner. Thank you very much. Just so you know, this call is being recorded for We the People training purposes. I did have a question. Hopefully you could tell me. Deputy Derek Marvin, that dirty oath-breaking tyrant pig, he's still on the force after kidnapping and shooting an unarmed man. Could you tell me why, Deputy Turner?
I'm not a deputy. I'm a dispatcher.
Oh, for sure. Could you tell me why, Dispatcher Turner?
I dispatch. I have nothing to do with administration.
Okay, so does dispatch in your communications, because I don't know how you guys do things, do you dispatch police to calls?
Yes. Is there something I can do for you, sir?
Yeah, you're doing it for me right now. So are you the person that sent 5 deputies to shoot an unarmed man?
no, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, okay?
Oh, you're gonna let me go? Why? You don't like answering questions? You love to fucking ask them, but you don't like to answer them. Why don't you stay on the phone and answer some fucking questions? And he hangs up. I would suggest people, I will always say that, you know, you shouldn't call. You shouldn't call. Yeah, do not call. This is the problems that were happening. And my point is that just because you don't fire the shot doesn't make you not as bad as the other shitbag that does. Because this guy was very quick to say, oh, I'm not a deputy, or I wasn't there. Okay, but do you dispatch police officers to locations? You do. So that's called conspiracy to attempted murder. You sent the guys that shot this kid. And they never want to answer your questions. They don't think that these two women deserve to know why they're sitting on my panel right now in front of hundreds of strangers to wonder why their loved one was almost murdered and kidnapped. And for what?
Cover the use of forced paperwork is my belief.
What was done with the internal affairs investigation after this?
I have no clue. I've been trying to figure out how to get the use of forced paperwork, and I have not found out how. Indiana is not transparent on anything.
Well, I mean, it's clear that transparency is not a focal point for this sheriff's department. I mean, and as far as Shane's representation, when he went to court, he was provided less than decent representation. In fact, the person that represented Shane did not fully disclose that he had a somewhat decent relationship with the prosecutor. And once Miss Combs and Miss Foster went to go visit him during the course of the biggest trial of this young man's life, they saw that this guy's office was packed. That's right, folks. He took their money so he could just have a little bit extra money, so that way he could retire with a couple extra $1,000. This is what is happening in your community today. This is what's happening with your policing. And I want you to look at Ruth. She's on the left-hand side. Okay, I want you to take a good look. And then I want you to close your eyes if you have children. Okay? I want you to imagine that they went through what she's going through. Remind her that she's not alone. Because that's the hardest part of this shit. When I called Erica for the first time, she was so surprised. You were so surprised that someone was reaching out to you and helping you, and I had to come up with a rule that you weren't allowed to thank me.
And I can't stop.
I mean, we need, for people that are going through this type of stuff, to understand that they're not alone. I want you to remember these faces, because this isn't the last time I'm going to do this story. I'm going to get more people involved in this. I've already confirmed 2 very large channels with over 300,000 subscribers that are also going to run this video. We've never accepted any donations. We've never accepted any money for this. In fact, in the search for a possible new attorney for the family, if they so wanted that attorney, we offered to pay for it in its entirety free of charge. And if they do decide at some point to take that offer will always stand, because this system is designed against you. There's a false understanding that you have a right to be perceived innocent. You're innocent until proven guilty. But we all know the very moment you walk into that court in an orange jumpsuit, the people sitting behind that jury box, 12 bootlickers, 13 and a half is the number, people. 12 jurors, 1 judge, and half a chance at freedom. It's an uphill battle the moment you step into that box. I want to know why this body cam wasn't taken seriously. I want to know why an innocent man is sitting in prison right now. But mostly, I want to know why this man roams the street, terrorizing your communities. That is the face of the devil. That is the face of tyranny. That is the face of injustice. And that is the face of the person that stole so much from these two people.
That's the face he made when he thought the camera was getting shut off. That face right there. As soon as the man reaches up to shut the camera off, he smirks at the camera. Dirty fucking pig.
I mean, because it's funny, right? It's funny that,
It's so
someone
funny.
would have to go through this. It's very funny to look at Erica's face and like, guys, I get very entertained. I get very entertaining. I, at certain points, will get riled up, especially when it's people I care about. But I mean, Erica even said something yesterday in a message. She said, you know, in adverse to the normal entertaining and, you know, persona that you kind of have. This is the first time from watching your videos I've seen you somber, and as a human being, you can't replace emotion. I mean, I'm looking at these two women and my heart breaks. My heart breaks that they're going through it. My heart breaks that there's more that we can't do. But is that accurate? Is there no more that we can do? Erica, what do you think that the people at home can do?
I think the people at home can support us. They can spread the awareness. They can let their friends know that the police departments are violating everybody's rights to this extent, to the extent that somebody's spending 36 years in prison and missing out on their family because they flushed him out the back door and shot him immediately.
Now, I could never imagine what you're going through, and I would never pretend to imagine, but if they're watching, I mean, as a mother, as Ruthie, as a fiance and a prospective mother, I mean, the court of justice, the injustice system locked him up for being a victim of police violence. But if it was your closing argument to the court of public opinion, what do you say to the people?
I say to the people that we need to do something about this. There's no reason in the world while these animals are walking around with this thin blue line, creating all these situations and committing all these crimes, and then following it up with nobody talks. Like, why isn't there any decent fucking officer on this whole force that will come forward and be like, oh, whoa, buddy, that's not true. Like, whatever is going on with this thin blue line, it needs to end.
Yeah, and Peachy Reddit, to answer your question, Peachy says, I came in late, so pardon the question. Did he have a gun on him or no? He did. So what happened is they responded to a domestic violence call, an alleged domestic violence call, about 3 hours after the complaint was filed. 5 officers showed up. Instead of even, considering less than lethal options or using their sidearm, they were all armed with AR-15s under the cover of night. They had a knock and announce warrant. They did not knock or announce. They were also not wearing any police insignia. So Shane looks out his window and sees several armed people hiding under the cover of night. So he puts a 6-shot revolver in his pocket and he walks out the door. And the moment he steps foot outside the door, he's shot at. And then afterwards, directly after, the deputy that shot him agrees that there was no firearm in his hand. He didn't see anything. His arm was at a 45-degree angle. He just wasn't taking the chance that his deputies were going to get shot. But then later, 9 months later, when Shane is finally charged, he says that SCHUMATE emerged armed from the rear of the residence. He ignored commands to drop his gun and fired directly at Delaware County Sheriff's Deputy Derek Marvin. However, thank God for body camera footage because that never happened. What's also interesting is crime scene techs found a 6-shot revolver with 6 live rounds, showing that he never fired a weapon. However, weeks later, when Deputy Marvin changed his story, there were only 5 live rounds and 1 spent shell casing was now missing. So we get to
my phone is getting ready to die, but I'd really like to address the domestic battery real quick. What had happened was he had took her phone and she wanted her phone back. And when it started to get loud, he took off upstairs with the phone. And he took the phone upstairs and she grabbed the baby, ran upstairs after him, set the baby down, and then continued to get the phone. And when she was grabbing at him to get the phone, he picked her up and took her to the ground. And then he ran out of the house. That's the domestic battery that cost my son almost his life.
And for people that are just tuning in, before we wrap this up, because we've been going on about an hour, I'm going to play the recap, Peachy, for you and anyone else that really breaks everything down. It shows just everything in about a minute. So I'm going to show that for everyone to watch just to get you caught up. Please keep in mind that viewer discretion is advised.
It's got like 1%.
White male walk out. And I saw the weapon in his hand. That's when I started yelling at him, "Show me your fucking hands, show me your fucking hands. Show me, drop the fucking gun, drop the fucking gun." And I saw his right hand start moving up, and I fired 4 or 5 rounds at him.
With your long gun?
Yes.
And did you ever fire your handgun? Do you ever remember seeing or hearing? So you don't remember any officer firing? You don't remember him firing?
No. Okay. The moment I saw him raising his right arm, it wasn't even parallel to the ground. I wasn't taking the chance of the other officers that were behind cover, getting shot at. Okay.
And there's the truth of the matter. The one time this cop told the truth was the only part that didn't matter. Their phone's going to die, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I apologize, Erica and Ruthie, that you have not had the support that you deserve. I apologize that there's people like this walking around today free while innocent people are in dungeons behind bars. And I apologize that even having to worry about raising a child by yourself after something so egregious is even within the realms of reality. They won't apologize, but we the people apologize, because we the people are all that matters. And we the people are you the people. So, I know it's hard not to feel alone in this situation, but you aren't. It's sad that the community hasn't rallied around you more, but 80,000 strangers that subscribe and watch my channel, they're there for you. We the people are there for you. And someday he will walk out of that prison. You will be able to hold your son again. And the sad part is you might not have any answers to your questions.
Right. I just want my child home. Like, they're never going to answer these questions.
Well, back the blue until it happens to you. I'd like to thank both of you for coming on today. I know it's not easy to relive this and to continue to have to go over the body cam again and again, but this is the best way to get your story out there. Again, you can support Shane. The link is in the chat. It's also in the about section. Shane's mom, Erica, that's on panel today, she makes some awesome gear. It's at Machine Head. She makes Team Shane gear. And I've also partnered up with her to sell Accountability for All gear, where the profits go to her and her continued fight for justice. There's free shipping. So the first 100 people that order either AFA gear or Team Shane gear, one name will be chosen at random, and I will send out a $250 Visa gift card to try and entice people into walking around, keeping Shane's name alive, so he doesn't go alone. I thank you guys so much. Please keep up the fight. And everyone, just so you know, this isn't the last time we'll be doing a story on this. We are not going to stop until we get some answers. I don't know when it's going to be.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming up. I appreciate both of you. Please enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Be safe, guys.
Okay.
All right. That's Erica Combs and Ruthie Foster. This is going to continue to happen unless you guys get involved. You need to get involved. I appreciate y'all. That's the reason I stopped you today. We'll catch you on the next one.